guys, this Oshin. This week's Spiritual card is gonna be about gratitude. Unfortunately, the world these days are not a happy and most loving place for a lot of us. I think it can be for other people, which is great, but for a lot of us, it's we're going through some major upheaval, I would say, and it's very easy to fall into despair, and it's very hard to find your way out of. One of the things that can help is practicing gratitude. But even if you know that you're grateful for the air you breathe, the roof over your head, the clothes you're wearing, or just sitting at this table filming a video, it can still feel not enough. So what my aim is with this pick a card is to find something extra that we can, or maybe more focused, that we can feel more grateful for. So in this case, just choose one pile or choose all of them. I don't think it matters, because it's a conscious choice to find something that we can be grateful for. But you don't have to watch all of them, obviously. And I chose everyday object for pies for that very reason, not something extraordinary, but simple things. Like for pile number 1, we have this stone that I found a few weeks ago, which has tiny little lines. I don't know how much the camera can show it to you, or if it's focusing even, but it looks really cool. So I picked it up and brought it home. Another one was this one, which I found, and I'm assuming that if I would crack it open, it would have some sparkly bits in it, but I'm not going to. It just kind of I like how smooth it is and stuff like that. Everyday thing that I find that I'm grateful for finding. Another one is one single red bean, because my nephew likes to play with these, putting them in a jar and taking them out and stuff like that. So something simple like a dried bean can be a toy for someone, and that's a thing that we can be grateful for. I think maybe like how much imagination we can have. So yeah, those are your options. Please do find the timestamps in the description down below, and if you're ready, see you in your pie. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose this striped piece of rock, then this is going to be your reading, or just the pile number 1. And I have 2 affirmation cards for this pile for the end, or as the last one. But first, the main thing to be grateful for is we have Gemini with cross-pollinate, and this card is all about connection and communication, and not just about communication on a surface level, which can be like buzzing around and just talking to people here and there and collecting information, like bees collecting honey, or pollen, that's what it's called, that will turn into honey. But it's a reminder in this case, what to be grateful for, that you have people to talk to, that you have a network of friends. It can be online friends. We're not gonna disregard the online friends, because I believe online friends can be as real life friends. But you have certainly people in your life that you can talk to, and not necessarily just for serious topics, but maybe just to have some fun conversation where you're not thinking about your worries, that you have people that you can go to and talk about your favorite hobbies that you love, because that when you do that and while you do that, you have a way of tuning out the difficulties that you're facing. So that is something to be grateful for, that you have a harmless way of distracting yourself from reality when you need it, in the form of people that you can talk to. And obviously it's a great thing to be grateful for, that you have people that you can talk to about hardship and difficulties. And even if you don't feel like you have that, You can test a little the people around you, you know, see if they are reliable, not, you know, in a mean way, but try to open up towards them. And because maybe you will be positively surprised that you actually have more people that you can trust and ask help from, or, you know, just share your thoughts and feelings about your current situation than you realized before, which I think is just amazing. And yes, that is something that we can be grateful for the people in our lives. And let's see what the tarot says. Oh, we have a lot of swords. And so, 2 sevens. Okay, interesting. 7, 7, 7. So, interesting that, you know, we have the swords, the 7. But the sword, the 7 of swords, and the 7. There's a connection. The 7 of swords is between the pentacles, which have a lot of bees. The 7 of pentacles is all about bees and working together and finding, you know, ways to work together, which is, you know, we have them in this card. So, you know, if you have bees around you, go ahead and be grateful you have bees around you, because they are not just extremely useful, but, you know, part of our survival. So how to be more grateful? I would say, King of Swords, be more practical about your approach. It's very easy to get dwelled into negative emotions, and sometimes your heart can't pull you out from that place, but your mind might be able to. So when you start feeling not so good about life, or, you know, you start feeling you don't have anything to be grateful for, make an actual list. You know, sit down and, like a King of Swords who can strategize and see the big picture, just sit down and make a list and start listing out everything that comes to mind. The trivial things, the weather, the chair you're sitting on, the paper you're using, or whatever method you're making the list. I would suggest use a pen and paper, because that gives your mind more engagement than using, you know, just a keyboard. But that's just my own advice. You don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but, you know, go ahead and tackle the problem with from a logical place, because the heart wants to feel better, but it has a tendency to fall into, you know, a negative pattern more easily if it's just, you know, roaming around unchecked, so to speak. And I'm not saying that our thoughts are not like that either, because, you know, we can be very, very good with self-sabotaging, but you can tackle self-sabotaging by seeing the big picture, that, hey, this is a problem that I'm experiencing and I want to feel better. That's your main goal. I want to be more grateful for the things that I have, because that, if you can reach that place, you will be able to bring in more, because life will give you more to be grateful for if you notice the little things. So, you know, make a list things out, and then you will stop self-sabotaging yourself. And just remember that gratitude practice is not something that you will get good at or amazing at after one time. It's a long-term process, and you have to see how things work for you, because with the 7 of Pentacles, it's not just about doing the work and then, you know, letting it grow and waiting for the result, which will come later in time, but also trying out different things, because you just don't know what is going to work. So, you know, don't give up if you don't feel amazing after just one practice. And maybe with the Gemini, with this card, what we talked about earlier is talk about gratitude practice with other people, because there might be someone who you don't know necessarily that deeply. It's a surface level Instagram feed relationship, but they post something related to this topic, and you're like, I like that. Let me ask you a few questions. They're probably going to answer, because people are, you know, more likely to answer you than not. So, and you know, you don't hurt anybody by asking something for advice on gratitude practice. So don't be afraid to, you know, ask people about how they do it and what they do when they do it, and pull in everything that you feel that would work for you, and, you know, build that big picture and be discerning about the information you have. And we have two affirmations to close with. One is self-love. I openly embrace a feeling of self-love, the PG kind. I love myself because I understand myself. I love myself as the most committed partner I will ever have. I show myself love any way that I can, and when I screw up, I remember to be sweet and gentle with myself. If not, I'm gonna make myself sleep on the couch. Got that, self? Yes, that's a very good reminder that, you know, don't be hard on yourself if you don't get things right immediately. And the second is wonder. It's a wonderful thing to be in a state of wonder. And when I'm a good audience to my life becomes better and better at theater. When something delightful happens, I can shout encore and be tickled when it happens again. When something maddening happens, I can laugh it off. Either way, I'm glad I get the ticket to the show. And it's kind of, you know, it's about, if you think about it, it's about gratitude, because what a wonderful thing that we're alive, even if life is hard at this very moment. When you're watching this reading, there were earlier times when things were really good, and earlier times when things were really bad, and you got through this. So remind yourself that nothing in life is as sure as things are changing constantly. Things won't stay this bad if you're experiencing something really bad forever. So be grateful for the change, and nothing will stay as good as they are if you're in a very, very good place in your heart and in your life at the moment. So remember to be grateful for and appreciate everything you have, and store those memories. Maybe make a list about them, you know, so that when you're experiencing something bad, you can pull those memories and feelings up and remind yourself that this is just a stop. This is not the final destination. I think that's the hardest thing to remember sometimes. So make that list, because it will help. And I'm gonna take my own advice with this one as well, and I'm gonna make that list. So hope this was useful. I feel like it had practical advices, which I always appreciate tarot doing, but I hope it was useful for you too as well. Please comment down below how it was. Share if you feel other people can benefit from such reading, and subscribe, because I want to see your face or comments in my videos. And thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely day. Really enjoy and be grateful for every minute, because life is a wonder, but we have to remind ourselves about it, or of it. See you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose this pebble, then this is your reading. And hello if you watched the first one. So we have an affirmation for the second part, and you have two main cards for you know, the main theme for the reading. So we have Jupiter with abundance and Aquarius with collaborate. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. Let's talk about these two at first before I'm placing anywhere. So yes, of course, and it's a very annoying thing to say that be grateful for the abundance that you have in your life, because, you know, you have it. And when you don't feel like that, then it just feels really fake and false and discouraging. But this card is not about necessarily having abundance immediately, but it's about the energy of Jupiter, which is about expanding and making room for good things to happen in your life. So what this card is a reminder of, that even if you don't feel like that abundance is part of your life right now, because you just don't feel like it, and that's a valid feeling. I'm not gonna sit here and say that if you feel miserable, you shouldn't, because look at your life and it's just so good and you're refusing to see that, because that's not always true. Sometimes life can generally and objectively suck. But what Jupiter is giving or bringing into the picture, and that we can be grateful for as a reminder that even if life sucks currently, we have the possibility or potential for expanding our lives, to talk to more people, to experience something you never experienced before. And it doesn't have to be something that you have to pay money on or spend money on or pay money for. It's about talking to people you meet somewhere. Just ask them how they are. Start small talks on buses or while waiting for a bus at a bus stop. Some people might look at you like you're a weirdo because, we live in such times when people just asking someone how they are can be perceived as being a weirdo. But don't get discouraged, because you might find someone who wants to talk to other people as well. They were just unsure that someone would be open to have a conversation while taking a short trip somewhere. And if you can, take short trips or just walk around the city you're living in, because you might find something that you never noticed before, a place that you never discovered. There are options and potential for adventure in the place you're currently in. And even if you can't take a physical trip, because you can be sick, you can be lying in bed, I understand that feeling. Your mind is a wonderful place to take adventures in, and try to make it consciously a good adventure. So don't go into the deepest, darkest corner of your life maybe this time, because that can be very hard to deal with. But just start thinking about what would you do if you would win the lottery. I love doing that. I think that's an amazing exercise to imagine the abundance that would follow. What would you do? Where would you go? What would you buy? Which food you would enjoy? How would you spend how would you spend your days? And stuff like that, think heavy thoughts. Because at least you have that option. We can be grateful for the option of abundance. And we also have Aquarius with Collaborate, which also part of this card, because, with Jupiter as energy, we're called to expand and connect with other people. And Aquarius is about all that, connecting people on a deeper level, connecting with people that you can build something together. So what we can be grateful for is the fact that there are people that we can do and create something marvelous together. You might not you might not have them yet in your life, but the potential is there, and all you have to do is start looking for them. Start expanding your horizon in a way that would allow those people to come into your life. And that is something that you can be grateful for, that you have that option, that you're open to expanding, you're open to receiving more. And if you're not yet, start working on that, and then you can just build up this feeling. Okay, let's see what the tarot is advising us. Oh, I love that we have the word. The 7 of Wands, interesting, another 7, and the 9 of Swords. Okay, so the word is all about, it's not just about completion and finishing a cycle, but it's about fine in this aspect, because we talked about expanding. It's about expanding your horizon all over the world, and finding new cultures that you might never considered interesting, because there might be something in that you can realize that, oh wait a minute, we're not that different than I first thought. But there are things in different cultures that can connect us together. If you look at these leaves, they are all different colors, but they are still leaves, so they have that shared experience, they have that shared form, because we're all humans, regardless of gender, skin, all the other bullshit. We're all human beings and we share that. And that's a wonderful thing. And you can find people who think like you. And if you know don't find them at the place that you're currently in, this is a reminder that because of the internet, because if you're watching this reading, it means you have the option to use the internet, you can find those people. You just have to look for them in places you never looked for them before. Maybe, start watching videos on a topic that you might once considered interesting when you were a child. I don't know, like how to build a Lego house. I don't know, something like that. Because you might find people in that community as well that would add to your life, and that will remind you that we're all part of the same human experience, and that means that there is more understanding in the world than we might perceive at this very moment, because we are in a very self-protecting place. And when we are, we feel like all we do is every day is just protect ourselves, we forget that we can be someone who doesn't just fight with other people, but find support in others as well. It's a very hard shift, I understand, but the potential is there. You just have to realize that the places you were looking for support before might not be the places where you're actually going to find the support you need. But what you can be grateful for is the option to find them. And the Nine of Swords is, is just a reminder to don't be discouraged and be more active in this pursuit of the truth. Because the Knight of Swords is how it is that knight who would go into the battle knowing fully well, intellectualizing the reason why they are fighting the fight. They are not coming from a place of, I feel it in my heart that this is right. They have the facts and the logic on their side. So, it's interesting that this is the second pile where we are reminded not to necessarily build things from our heart, because our heart can be discouraged easily, or more easily than normally at this current moment, but use the facts that we have as a feedback, that treat this as an experiment and use the feedback that you get to fine-tune your strategy, I would say. Start watching, I gave you that example previously, start watching certain videos, and if you don't find anyone you connect there, or the topic you are watching is not connecting, make that mental note, and move on. You don't have to stick around if you don't feel like you belong. Don't jump ship too quickly, but I would say, just based on my personal experience, the communities where I've really felt accepted and appreciated and understood were communities like the tarot, where the feedback was immediate. I started watching videos, I started talking to people, and within a few weeks or so, I had friends already. So I think that's a good feedback. If you feel like you're finding community immediately, that's a good thing. Not like being fully accepted, because that might not happen, but you find people you like and you want to be friends with, for example. But do it obviously in a safe way. Don't give out too much personal information immediately, because, in some aspect, it's a good thing that you're protecting yourself. But don't be on the defense too often. Sometimes lower your guard so that other people who are like you can find you. And for some reason, the purple color is represented here on all three cards. So I would say for you that light purple color can be significant as well. And your affirmation, oh my god, we have the actual gratitude card. Today I'm grateful for all the little things, even when the big things suck. Like I said, there are always plenty of little things I can be at least a little grateful for, like hot showers and music and the fact that humans invented the internet. What did I say? The freaking internet. I love that. I swear to God I didn't read this one. And I'm allowed to use it whenever I want it to, using fingers and thumbs to do whatever I think them to do at any given moment. I love this. I was thinking about the first pile that there must be a gratitude card in this actual, affirmation deck, but I wasn't thinking that this would come up, but I am grateful for this card to appear in this reading because I feel validated and I feel like supported with by the message, and I just love that. So thank you, gratitude card, for appearing. And yes, thank you, internet, and thank you for watching. Thank you for using your thumb or index fingers, for hitting that like button. Thank you for typing up comments and subscribing, because those all help my channel, and I'm very, very grateful for all of you to be here. And for me, finding my community here is it's an important and very supportive things and experience. So yeah, I hope you will experience something like that as well. If not in this community, then in some other place. I wish you all the luck. Don't give up, don't get discouraged. Keep on going, keep until you find your people, because that will help you feel more grateful every day. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. See you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose this little red bean or pile number 3, then this is going to be your reading. And hello if you watched all 2 so far. It's quite an interesting journey. You don't have to, I'm just saying. I'm acknowledging that this could be a reading such like that, where people, check multiple piles and hopefully get something out of it. So your main reason, oh, this is a pretty one. We have the 6th house with sustainability. Okay, and with the number 44, which is 8. And 8 is corresponds to strength in tarot, so I love that. So this card is not just about living life sustainable, like the in the usual way that we hear, that in connection with nature, and not overusing resources and stuff like that, which is very important. If you can do that, definitely live your life like that. But it's about creating a life that you're imbalanced with, when every piece of your life, like work and I'm not gonna say work, I'm gonna say what you have to do, your responsibilities, and what you do that makes you happy is imbalanced, because we're not at the place yet in humankind's history where we gave up the idea that we have to chain ourselves to a job for a lifetime. I don't understand why we let certain people to convince us that this is how life should be lived. I don't believe that's true, but that's my own personal opinion, I guess. But it's about finding balance, and it's a great reminder that you have the inner strength, because you have the strength with the numbers as well, to create a life that is in balance. Everything, how you feel, is your choice. It might not feel like it, because our emotions can definitely feel like they are taking over, but that the choice is still ours. It can be a very difficult one to make and follow up with. I understand, and I know how annoying it can be when people say that no matter what the outside circumstances, it's your choice how you feel, because when we experience something really traumatic, our choices are very, very limited, and it takes really a lot of work to come out from such a place and find that balance again. So I'm not dismissing that. But hopefully that's not for everyone. Hopefully it's just about finding peace within yourself and finding that balance. And you know, you have the option to wake up every day and start your life, in a way, start your day and continue your life with listing out 3 things that you're grateful for that moment when you wake up. And that can be just as trivial as waking up, opening your eyes, having a minute to do a gratitude practice. Those are already 3 things that you can just say for yourself. And it very well be that, at first you're not going to feel grateful at all. But if you keep up with the practice, this is how practices work. They build on previous experiences. So if you keep up with the practice, you will recognize that you slowly start to actually feel like it's working. So what you can be grateful for is the knowledge that you have the power to create this balance. You have the inner strength, even if you don't feel like you have it here and now when you're watching this. You do, because you have the options and tools to change small things. And the big change starts with a small step. So don't think about how you are feeling and how you want to feel and think that that's just gonna be one step. Because if the difference is, if the difference is this big, it will take time to close the gap and find the balance. So just allow yourself to take time, but don't allow yourself to stop working on feeling better. That's your responsibility. Doing the small steps. Nobody can do that instead of you. Even though sometimes you really want someone to step in and just help. Unfortunately, most of the times it's not how it works. But we have a King of Wands, a Knight of Pentacles. Interesting, a lot of Knights. And 2 of Wands. As how to do this. So another King energy. The King is not gender related, it's just about the more active. Like I said, you have to take the practice, you have to take that small step every day. It's not about waiting for someone else to come in and save your day. It's about being that someone and saving your day, because you have that power. And the King of Wands is about passion and what we feel excited about. So maybe how you build up this gratitude practice is finding something that you're feeling passionate about, even if it's just a tiny flicker of interest at this moment, and build on that. And the Knight of Pentacles is a reminder of good work takes time. Don't give up. Don't look at what other people do. Just know that you're following your own path, and you're doing it at your own pace. Because you don't have to be quick, and you don't have to be like other people who might you think or perceive as someone who reached the destination that you're going for quicker than you do. Because you don't know if that's actually their goal. They might just look like they are heading to the same direction as you, and you don't know if they are actually doing the work, or they are just acting like they are doing the work because they feel like they have to. Don't think about other people and how they are building up a gratitude practice, which is interesting, because I think pile number 1 was the one who was encouraged to look at other people. So if you picked those as well, this could be the reminder that even if you take advice from other people, just mainly focus on what you're doing. Don't get discouraged by looking at other people, because if you start measuring yourself against other people and try to find the balance and the sustainability that you're advised to find with this card in outside of yourself, then you're gonna fail. So definitely just focus on your stuff and creating that balance here. And with the Two of Wands, it's about slowly you will reach a place where you want to actually start looking for a bigger picture, looking for a new place to be, because you will realize that you don't have to get stuck in whatever situation you are in currently, even if it's a good one. Even if you're like happy with your life, if you start practicing and gratitude and find that balance within yourself, within your life and the aspects of your life, you will realize that, hey, there are other adventures that I would like to, try. There are other interests that I have that I actually want to maybe pursue, and that curious energy will propel you forward to a new place. And then you can how I feel like is that if you're in a not so good place, you will get back that curiosity that makes life wonderful. And if you're in a good place, if you're grateful for what you have already, you can enjoy even more adventures. You will get back on the road, so to speak, and experience something exciting, because you already have that stable life that you want, that you can build on. And your affirmation card is engagement. Today I make the conscious choice to engage with the world in an active way. King of energy. I'll take a new route and talk to strangers. I will smell flowers and pet dogs and maybe walk around barefoot for a while if I'm not inside a 7-Eleven. Yeah. At the very least, I'll have a day that's slightly more interesting than average. And at the most, I'll have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. Yes, it's a very, very good additional message, because engaging with the world, you can do that without measuring yourself against other people's success. That's a very good reminder that just because you're following your own path and taking your own route, it doesn't mean that you have to shut down the whatever it's called, the helmet's part that protects you, and not talk to people. It just means that when you talk to them, don't start bashing yourself up for not being as good as they are yet. Because everybody is following their own journey, and you need to concentrate on finding balance and creating sustainability for the long term in yours. No pressure. But yeah, enjoy colors, because you have these wonderful colors remind me of ice cream or candy or something sweet that you can enjoy, a treat. Or even a cake, I don't know. Or if you don't, if you're not up for anything like that, maybe some fruits. Just enjoy something small in a sustainable way. But yeah, I hope this was useful. I hope you're feeling better and you find something that you can actually use and start build up a gratitude practice, because I think that's a very good advice coming from the cards in pretty much every pile. And please remind yourself that this is not a race. We're not here to win anything. We're here to create something better for ourselves, and we have the power to do that. No matter what the outside circumstances, we can start changing small things and allow the universe to step in and help us with the bigger ones. So let's remind ourselves that we can do this, because we can. And thank you so much for being here. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and see you in the next one. Bye.